Fire Season is a cooperative firefighting game. We wanted a game that explored ecology urgent ideas in a digestible way. Our game was created in direct response to the longer and more intense fire seasons that we've been experiencing here in the US. And we wanted our game to show both the challenge and optimism needed to fight fires and ultimately prevent them in the future. In this game, players work together to gather resources from their environment to build roads, water pipes, and watchtowers around the map. While this is happening, fires threaten to destroy the landscape. The game ultimately asks players to manage their time and resources as a group to build enough watchtowers to win the game. We wanted the game also to be rather difficult, so we've also built in 2 loss conditions. If the blaze covers too much of the landscape or you cannot put the fires out in time, then your team loses the game.
Galaxy Run is a 2 to 4 player deck builder in which you are the captain of a third-rate spaceship attempting to flee the Federation, the intergalactic police, and get to the capital at the end of the galaxy. Throughout your journey, you will be met with many opportunities to improve your ship and crew to defend from the Federation, typical space occurrences events, and other captains.
This memory game is an appropriation of the same card flipping game that we all grew up with. The cards are small and intimate, and they are coated with a heat-sensitive ink, so the images must be heated up to body temperature to be revealed. I came across a roll of undeveloped film in an empty apartment last year. The previous occupants had moved away, and suddenly I had moments that they deemed important in the palm of my hands. I wanted to give these moments a chance to speak, a chance to make others curious, and a chance to evoke memories, and it took me a while to figure out what medium to work them into. In the rule set of my memory game, I emphasize the possibility of this being a cooperative game. Players can sit on the ground, shoulder to shoulder, and match their cards together using the warmth of their bodies to create images and to make them reveal themselves. I wanted to create a potential setting that mimicked that of a family digging through their photo album to give these photographs a taste of the sweetness of reminiscing.
It is about pirates. It's gone through a couple iterations because we wanted to play with the different type of pirates, I guess. So in our first version, we had it so that there were like digital pirates, like people who download, whatever off the internet. And so we had cards like based on that and actions based on that. We've kind of moved it into more so like they're very modern pirates stuck in the past, like the Caribbean, like open seas kind of stuff. I guess basically the premise of the game is you want to collect the most treasure cards. And so there's 11 treasure cards. You can only get treasure from the middle island. The first version of our game, we had it so that there were teams of 2, and one person was like the combat ship and one person was the support ship. And the original idea was that the combat ship was the pirates from like the 1700s. And the support ship were the pirates from the modern era with like their computers and tech and whatnot. So they would support the combat ship. But really, they really found that like our players that like the support role wasn't that much fun because you're just running away the whole time because you couldn't fight. So we changed it into like a free-for-all kind of format where everyone can fight and everyone can do all of the actions basically. And yeah, you just compete for the 11 treasure cards and there's 4 people. And the game ends when you draw out the deck, and then you count the treasure cards, and that's that.
So like the idea of the game is we were wanting to make a space race. So we took heavy like consideration from the games like Catan and all the games where you're building a deck in your hand. And we wanted to change it in a way to add some more engaging aspects in a way like where you can place down part cards, like so you can get the cards and actually place them down onto the map and build out the game board. I thought that was one of the aspects we were trying to hit, and I think we did it. And yeah. So like the game is won once somebody has successfully built a ship and launches into space, and the game is scored through sustainability points. So even though you can launch up into space, somebody else can also launch up into space and have more sustainability points than you and can end up winning the game. So yeah.
Our board game is called Undead Nightmare, and it is based off a apocalyptic world in the United States. And the entire map is quite literally the entire United States. So you have 4 pawns, right? You have 4 survivors. These survivors include a farmer, a medic, a engineer, and a survivalist. Now, each of these characters have their own set of unique skills and abilities that they can use throughout the entire game while trying to face off the undead horde and others. The main purpose of the game is to survive 12 months, an entire year, or 12 rounds basically. And as the levels progress, the zombies will have more health and will deal more damage as time progresses. So at the very beginning, you're gonna have to search different areas of the United States and just completely make sure that you have enough supplies as you go through the game. And we also wanted to make the game more enjoyable for others that immediately lose. So instead of like, oh, well, because you're dead, well, now you have to spectate, you have to just view others play. Well, we decided, you know what? No, that's kind of boring. So what if one of the characters decides that, well, they're not gonna make it and they're gonna have to die. So we decided we should just turn them into a zombie. So meaning they can still play, however, that doesn't mean that they will win. Because the point of the game is to have the most supplies and be the last one standing. But as a zombie, you're able to go around the entire map and just sabotage or even attack the remaining alive players. And once you kill them, they will join your team of the undead.
So 1980 Lunar Nuclear Command is a game about Cold War but on the moon. It takes place in an alternate history where you take the role of a space commander sent by your country to set up operations on the moon. There are 2 ways to win, whether you work cooperatively and diplomatically against the deck to try and get rid of as many of your non-optional weapons as possible, or you can compete with one another in attempting to accumulate as many weapons as possible for the situation that someone presses the big red button that exists in the center of the board, so that you will have enough weapons to survive and destroy your opponents.